it landed on my pelvis and my right arm and like sunk me into the dirt. So it didn't split me right in half. It just crushed every bone from my pelvis down pretty much. So I guess there's a couple baseline things that I need to go over for the understanding of the story. So I was working out of 2.5 hours out of our hometown, traveling every week to work, Monday through Thursday, Friday and Saturday. You had the choice to work or not. So I was commuting to work and staying in a camper on the job site that, I don't even go into that. Well, it was, I was, there wasn't really many people on the job site. And since my supervisor really took a liking to me, he asked me to do practically everything he wanted done. Well, we just opened up a lane on the bridge. We had to swap lanes because we were behind on schedule. And so the lane that we opened up wasn't even done yet. It was like, it's asphalt, bridge, then asphalt. Well, it was dirt because dirt goes underneath the asphalt, bridge, and then dirt again. So we put up the water barriers, filled them with water, the orange water barriers that go on the end. And a car came through and knocked the water barrier off. Well, since it's filled with water, it needed to be picked up with a forklift and moved into position. So my boss asked me to grab the forklift, which is on the other side of the bridge, drive it across, and move the water barrier back into position. Well, I hopped in the forklift, got like 7/8 of the way across the bridge, and another car came speeding across, just went right through the stoplight and everything. And so I was, like I said, 7/8 of the way across the bridge, and I seen him coming, so I tried to hurry and get off the bridge. And I shouldn't have done that because construction workers take precedence over civilians, but I tried to hurry and move over, and since he was going so fast and whatnot, he couldn't stop, and he basically like pushed me off to the side, onto my far side of the forklift. The entry side is the left side, and the far side I can't really see, from the window. And so I get onto the dirt part on the end of the bridge, trying to get out of his way. And the dirt wasn't fully compacted yet. The dirt workers just came that day and laid it down, so it didn't have full compaction. So driving a big-ass forklift on it obviously was going to make it indent into the ground, Well, the car pushed me to the side so much that the hillside on my right-hand side and the dirt not being compacted started to cause the forklift to lift up. Well, I tried to tilt the forklift back down, and it wouldn't tilt down. It was just slowly creaking up to tip over. So I unbuckled my seatbelt, went to go jump out, being that I never got trained to even drive a forklift.
Wasn't even qualified to be on the forklift.
Yeah, so I didn't know what
Protocol was.
Yeah, what protocol was, which is to stay in the forklift as it rolls. So I jump out, which I would have been able to jump out, but the seatbelt wrapped around my leg as I jumped out. So I swung out instead, breaking 2 of my ribs off the floorboard of the forklift. And by this time, the forklift's rolling down the hill. Well, I was able to crawl around the forklift so it's onto its side where the floorboard is that I landed on. Then it's up top, so I was able to get to the bottom side of it. And then it rolled again, and I was able to clear it. But then I wasn't able to clear the top of it. And the top of it, where the boom is for the forklift, I wasn't able to clear that. And there's a dirt pile, big-ass dirt pile, down at the bottom of the hill. So that, since I wasn't able to clear it, it landed on my pelvis and my right arm and like sunk me into the dirt. So it didn't split me right in half. It just crushed every bone from my pelvis down pretty much. Well, as I was laying there, I was conscious through the whole accident. As I was laying there, I looked to my right and see my forearm just laying right next to me in the dirt. Not my forearm, but the muscle in the forearm was laying right next to me, like just covered in dirt, blood everywhere. I had to lay there for about 10-15 minutes because they had to get a bigger machine, which is on the other side of the bridge, across the bridge, down the hill safely. Had to hook up to lift the forklift off me, but they also had to wait for medical personnel to get there because it's just protocol. You don't know if the person's gonna they didn't know if I was gonna bleed out or not the person. But as I was laying there with the forklift on me, I was just in complete shock. I had no pain whatsoever, and the hardest part about that was probably just breathing because it felt like my breathing was restricted. So I was just laying there just trying to breathe. So finally, 15 minutes into laying on the ground and whatnot, a helicopter ends up showing up to the job site. Keep in mind, this job site is in the middle of nowhere. No cell reception, no nothing. So somebody had to drive into town to get cell reception to call for medical personnel. And the next town over, Wilsaw, Montana, is a blink of an eye town, so they don't really have that many medical personnel. Definitely not the medical personnel I need for my situation. So a helicopter came from Bozeman, Montana, lands on the bridge up on top of the hill where I just rolled down from.
Billings, Montana?
No, it came from Bozeman.
Oh, but you went to Billings.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you were at Billings Hospital.
Oh. Well, then the Bozeman helicopter flew me to Billings, I guess. I thought they flew me to Bozeman.